everybody. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Stacy here in Japan. Personally speaking, I'm still there. And I just decided to go live again. I put on a kind of decentish top and I'm here again just to get some things off my mind. It's going to be quite fumbled, jumbled, unscripted, unplanned because if me follow myself, me not do no video, right? And what I want to talk about today mainly is what burnt out looks like. Take a good look. This is burnt out. I'm not talking, I'm not talking my face. Look in my eyes. Tired, done, burn out, walk out, whatever you want to call it. That's me right now. But what does it look like? What does it look like to actually be burnt out? What does it feel like? Because it wasn't something that I was able to identify readily until a couple of years ago. And in more recent times, I truly understood what burnt out felt like and even what it looked like based on how my eyes were. And I'm not just talking from a lack of sleep, but just being so exhausted, just beyond exhaustion if it's possible. That's burnt out. So what's been going on with me? I haven't been online doing any videos for quite a while, for a number of months. Very inconsistent, as a matter of fact. Not that I had promised to do videos regularly, because I just knew that I had to do me. I had to go at my pace. Even though I have so many ideas of things I want to share and videos that I want to do, and even places that I've been where I've done videos and I want to put those together and share with you all. But let me tell you, it's easier said than done. And I have not resolved to become a YouTuber or to make that a part of my income stream. So it hasn't really gotten any attention. So after finishing my master's degree in 2020, October, right? I have not stopped, slowed down, or anything. In fact, since I started working freelance in April 2020, that is where the burnt out experience was formed or birthed, But I didn't realize because, before that I was having this mental breakdown, during that same quarter of 2020. And at that time, I had to request from my university extra time to work on my dissertation, which was due September. But by the grace of God, I was able to finish and submit my dissertation in September without using the extra time that was afforded me. During that time, I wasn't working steadily. I was using one of the social benefits of Japan for unemployed persons, but still picking up part-time work, teaching English, of course, with the company that I've been with since 2017. I was kind of trying to find a job, but I also knew that I could not go back into the public school system as an ALT, as an assistant language teacher. That had caused quite a bit of mental fatigue or mental burnout. But that's for another story. I don't think I want to talk about that anymore right now. So I knew I didn't want to be an ALT anymore, just because of what it had to offer, what it was about, how you were treated, how I was treated, how I was made to feel, or how I chose to feel, that kind of thing. You're spending all this time in this place. Most of your days are spent here, but you don't feel like you're a part of it. And I couldn't do it anymore. Working part-time allowed me to be more in control of the classes I had, interacting with students and so on. But what I realized this caused, because these part-time gigs were like a couple of hours at most, 1 hour here, 2 hours there, online or in person. And so what was happening was that it became more intense, and I didn't really think about it at the time. I was just happy to be able to interact with real people and to be treated like a real person. But what was happening was that it was taking a greater toll on me physically. Physically. Because when you're in the public school, you are working, yeah, for 8 hours. You're at the school, but you're not working all the time. Your classes are 50 minutes or 45 minutes or 40 minutes thereabout for the public school, junior high school or elementary school. And I was at junior high schools. And then you have a break. You can go in the staff room and you can sit down and relax, and but you had a set salary every month as well. So the difference now with working part-time or freelancing, which is what I have now concluded I've been doing and believe I've been doing, is that if you don't work, you don't get any money. And when you are working for 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 or 5 hours, sometimes, as I had some intense classes, it's me alone as the teacher, usually on Zoom with 1 to 5 students. So if it's a 2 hour class, it's me and the student for 2 hours. Of course, I'm not talking all the time, but I have to be active and engaged with the student for these 2 hours. Usually there's no break. I encourage students to take a drink, if they need to, or if they need to use the bathroom during that time, they can just let me know and feel free to do that. And depending on how the salespeople sell the classes, they are sold usually without breaks. If it's like a 3 hour class, maybe there's a 10-minute break, a one-off 10-minute break. And whenever a break is given, officially, you don't get paid for that break. So I realized that it took more physically out of me. And then in the back of my mind, I always had to be thinking to maintain my visa, because immigration, I had to switch from an instructor's visa to a humanities visa to allow me to work freelance, which meant I was not working in the public school system or with any kind of high school or anything like that. Yes, the instructor's visa is only for public schools or high school settings. The humanities visas are usually for language schools, eikaiwas, or any other kind of industry. So they said I should be earning a minimum of 200,000 per month to maintain my visa. Now remember, I started freelancing during COVID time. So a lot of classes were canceled. And remember, when they cancel the classes, I don't get paid. If I don't work, I don't get paid. There's no obligation working as a freelancer. Nobody's obligated to providing you with any guaranteed work. So I was always trying to find work. At that time, I was working for like 2 or 3 companies, and I can't even begin to describe what that means when you have to go to immigration, when you have to do anything that requires documentation from your job or jobs. Very, very tedious, having to make requests to 3 different companies. So at one point I was working for 3 different companies. Man, and trying to keep a schedule with 3 different companies was not easy. So my planner, book, diary always had lots of colors, and I kept telling myself, I can't do this, I can't do this. I've been doing it for 2.5 years, and it's been hard, but I still don't think that is my strong area, to be working freelance. But I still also have not been able to find something that I can comfortably do here in Japan. And so as far as I'm concerned, it's time. It's time. Time is winding down for me to leave Japan. And ideally, I want to go back to my yard in Jamaica. So for the past 2.5 years, I've been having, you know, a schedule that looks like a Christmas tree with all different kind of colors, trying to maintain it. And whenever there's a cancellation, I have to keep on top of that. And it's just 3 different sets of things each time. If I'm going to immigration, my understanding was I needed things from each of them. I remember when I went to the tax office because they sent me a bill for a residence tax. People, it was so much. And I went and I was explaining to them that I can't afford to pay it. And they said, and I explained that I had 3 companies, and they gave me 3 different forms that I should take to these 3 different companies for them to fill it out and then bring it back to them for them to see whether or not I would qualify to get a reduction. Now remember, I'm working freelance. There's no base pay. There's no guarantee with these companies. So I was thinking to myself, what kind of sense is this going to make? What are they going to write on the paper? Because what was also happening was that a lot of students were not studying English anymore. That had completely dropped because nobody was traveling. Nobody's traveling. Nobody sees the need to learn English anymore. So they were not getting as many customers or students to require the volume of teachers anymore. In fact, I actually lost a job that I used to have on a Monday evening consistently for 1 year because they had to give it to the full-time person. Yes, I'm just talking about what burnout looks like for me being here in Japan. More specifically, in the past 2.5 years working freelance. So one of the things, as I said, that propelled me is the fact that to renew my visa, I should be working X amount per month. Now, there were some months where I was not even making enough to pay my rent. And so whenever the jobs would come, I would take them. And I would just be going so hard, like in 1 month, because I knew that the next month there wasn't going to be anything. And this is the uncertainty of working as a freelancer. If you're trying to maintain a certain or hit a certain target, if I wasn't thinking about my visa, maybe I wouldn't be working so hard or trying to find so many different classes to take. But just thinking about not wanting to have any issues with Japanese immigration. But on the other hand, I heard from at least one person that he went to the immigration and he wasn't working much of anything, but there was no problem because during coronavirus everybody's a little bit more lenient and so on. Yeah, but burnout, and when you don't realize it or when you don't find ways to manage the stress that it comes with, it starts to affect you emotionally, psychologically. And before you know it, you're crying at the doctor's office like myself. So last Saturday, I mean, there has been a lot going on that I have not spoken about, which I'm going to leave for another time. Because since last year, June, I've been working on something major, which has been taking a lot of time and energy and money. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But anyway, on Saturday, I went to the doctor, gynecologist, female doctor, and my Japanese friend went with me because they told her that I needed to come with a translator. Now, I'm not used to I'm not used to going to the doctor with a translator. Listen, people, that in and of itself is stress. To think about going to the doctor in Japan gives you more stress. Some more time, me not bother going to doctor. As a matter of fact, I didn't usually get sick. I didn't usually get sick until, and when I say sick, it meant that I was just really tired, not able to eat properly, and physically start to be affected by that. I remember last year or the year before, I was just going to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "You're just stressed. You're stressed. You are stressed. There's nothing I can do. You are stressed." Right? But I went to the doctor on Saturday, and yeah, my friend was there. Like I say, I'm not used to going to the doctor with anybody. I did go before with a couple persons, but it felt different then. But this time now, this is a new doctor place, and long and short, got a form to fill out. It was all in Japanese. Normally, I would just get my phone, Google translate, and write what I need to write. But now I have the form, and the nurse comes. I am the patient, right? No, I think this is something that we have to learn together. Japanese learning how to deal with foreigners. Them still don't know how to do it very well. I am the patient. Whether or not I speak or understand Japanese or not, doesn't matter. I am the one that you should be communicating with, right? But anyway, the nurse comes, my friend is sitting beside me, and in a hushed voice, she speaks to my friend. She speaks to my friend about wanting the form to be completed in Japanese. The hurtful thing for me, maybe if I didn't understand what she said, maybe it wouldn't have bothered me. I don't know. But I was already very emotional, you know, emotional, tired, exhausted, because I had already been working on some things, and then the funeral for the Jamaican had come, and I had not gotten a chance to rest. And so I heard that, and I just got very gasping for breath. And I'm like, I am right here. I didn't, this was, the nurse had already left. I said, I'm right here. And I could start to feel the tears coming. And I was, I had the form like this. And I was like, here to my friend. I was like, here. And my friend looked at me, so she said, I will help you if you ask nicely. And then I felt so bad. And then I apologized to my friend. And I started crying. I'm right here. I'm right here. And she didn't even say it to me. She just said it to you. People, I couldn't fully understand how overcome with emotion I was. And then I went into the doctor's office, and just the kind of crying started again. The doctor was talking to my friend, also talking to me sometimes, talking in English and Japanese. She didn't study English, she studied French, but she still knew some English. But the point was, Well, at that stage, me never really business if she involved me in the conversation or not, but she did, and she just said, "Wow, it's sad. It's really sad." And she had touched my shoulder. She was touching my shoulder, and she was saying "Sabishine," which means sad. Sabishine. She was like, "When was the last time you went home?" And I told her 2019, and she was like, so dane Sabishine. Yeah, yeah. Like she was saying, I really needed a break to go home. I needed to go back to Jamaica. And I said, yeah, you're right, you're right. And I was just bawling, and I was just bawling, and she was just talking, of how I was behaving very human. Because Japanese people, them not really behave human too much, but so, after apologizing, we left the doctor, apologizing profusely to my friend, and she was like, "It's okay, I understand. I will continue to be your friend." And we went and we had some very sweet deliciousness. Um, yeah, it had a lot of fruit though, so it wasn't as bad as I had wanted it, but it was beautiful, it was delicious, and it was sweet, and I just after that, the next day was a funeral, and the funeral was the next thing, whole day and thing. But after that, I started to, since then, so today is now Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days later, I haven't been working much this week, just a few hours, probably about 6 hours for the 4 days that gone. But I was just so tired. I was going to bed early, before 10 o'clock, getting up after 6, after 7, but getting up and still being tired. So I know, but today I'm feeling so much better. So I know that I'm kind of catching up. I'm catching up on all of that exhaustion that I've been experiencing. I'm still not completely out of the woods, but some things have fallen off my plate. And as I said, no, it's summertime here in Japan, which means less work, which means no pay. But I'm so tired. I don't mind. I can't afford to send so much energy there, caring about that. In fact, yesterday or the day before yesterday, I'm like, no, I need a break. I need a break. And I booked a ticket just to Okinawa, which is it's a part of Japan, but it is an island by itself. One of them colonized place here. And I booked the ticket, and I'm going to go there for 7 days. I don't plan any itinerary yet, but I just need to go and be there near the beach. It is like Jamaica actually. Okinawa reminds me of Jamaica. You can walk around and you see banana trees that grow and thing. So I'm going to be doing that from August 6th. Yeah, Independence Day. Yeah. So I just have been taking this time to reflect on why I've been so emotional and so exhausted, and I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. Like, I will leave home 8:30 in the morning and go to work for 9:30, work for 2 hours, come back home to work again by 12:30 and work for 4 hours straight. Them kind of thing there is madness. It's madness for real. But they don't come all the time. These opportunities only come once in a while. And it's not like I know like a month in advance or anything. It's usually like, all right, this month start and couple weeks later or 1 week later, them trying to fill this class. And because I don't have any set salary for each month, I try to take the classes when they come. Summertime, less work. December time, less work. Springtime, less work. I can't continue like this at all. I have developed more gray hairs than I've had. Oh, I've been here for 6.5 years, and most of my gray hairs were developed here in Japan. Fair enough. Getting old as well. Yeah, so burnout. When you're burnt out, you are exhausted, and no matter how much you sleep, it's like your body can't recover. Burnout kind of sends your emotions all over the place. You become very emotional. You might cry, you might get easily irritated and angry, and you don't even realize that it's because of extreme fatigue and exhaustion. Burnout, my hormones just felt all over the place, and that's why I went to the gynecologist. And the gynecologist said, what? Your hormones are fine. Praise God for that. You know, my hormone levels were fine. Um, so it's burnout. It's burnout. And I want anybody who is new to Japan to be careful of this when you are trying to earn with multiple jobs. With multiple jobs, it is very unnerving trying to keep the schedule, trying to fill the gaps, and not giving yourself enough time for rest. And let me say something. I didn't want it to be this long, but let me say something. Even when you have like a 2 hour in between, it's like you can't catch up. You can't catch up the kind of rest that you want, because you're also thinking of things in the house that you need to be doing, right? I had laundry like for one whole month on my floor because I took them off the hangers wanting to put them away, and I never got to them. And you know what happened last night, after almost 5 years of being in this apartment, I saw a cockroach, the second one I'm seeing in this month alone. And the only time I was able to catch the cockroach was when he went into the clothes, and I just kind of slammed down on the clothes. So I ended up washing them over again last night. I just put them in the machine and wash them. Now I take them up again. Now I have them on the hangers, and I'm not taking them off the hangers until I am able, with enough strength, to put them in the drawer. So even though I have no classes and haven't had any for a while, I just felt so fatigued, exhausted. I didn't have energy to really do much. If I make my smoothie, that's good enough for me, but it's like I don't have the strength to go wash up the stuff, to fold away the laundry. Like just walking, I kind of dragging myself. My legs feel heavy. This is burnout. This is burnout. Absolute fatigue. Absolute fatigue. And I have to change something, because I'm winding down. Next year, closer to this time, I should be heading out of Japan. Out of Japan. Which means I'm trying to push for one more year in Japan. Is it possible? I'm trying to push, and I'm trying also to see if I can find a different kind of job. Maybe still teaching, because that's just the easiest thing right now, but something full time where I don't have to be trying to manage a crazy schedule and going all over the place to teach classes, where a good chunk of my time is spent in one area, and then after that I just go home. When you go to one place and you just do all the work there, and then you go home, you're less tired. But you go there, so you come home, you go on Zoom, you go there, so here, so it's very, very tiring. Very tiring. I wanted to try and find a base job, that guarantees me a set amount every month, but it's not available unless I go back into the public school system, and nah. Yeah. So still have a huge thing on my plate. Try not to take on anything else until it comes off my plate. But yeah, so that's been me. I hope this helps somebody. This has helped me, just being able to talk about it, which was really why I decided to go live and not try to put together a nice edited video. you know um yeah, that's me. Know your limits, know your boundaries, set them up, set your goals, work towards them, and move on. So I'm looking towards moving on now, but moving on in wisdom. But Japan and me right now, yeah, Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. Um, until next time, it's Stacy, personally speaking, and I am still in Japan. Goodbye.